Welcome to Monster Mondays. So, it's time. It's time for the classic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most beloved movie in the history of cinema. That every time anyone ever mentions it, they're like, the best. This is the best movie.
They should be like that.
They reflect upon it with just like stars in their eyes.
Good.
Chud 2.
Chud 2.
Bud
Da-da.
the Chud.
Bud the Chud.
Yeah. So, I feel like people are dead inside. Like, I think they're the Chuds because they don't find entertainment and, like, just charm in this film. And
yeah, they're dead. They're dead inside. This film is wonderful. It's so charming.
I could understand,
so fun.
I could understand, like, if you're some big Chud fan and you're like, I want Chud 2 to be a proper Chud sequel where, like, they didn't blow them all up in the sewers and some got out and were running amok in the town and all that. I could understand. And I would like to see that movie. And I wish that, would I rather Chud 2 actually be that sequel and that Bud the Chud was like
a separate
Return of the Living Dead 3 like it was supposed to be? Because this definitely falls more in line with a Return of the Living Dead film than it does with a Chud film. Or it's just, Bud the Chud, but like on its own.
Yeah.
Like not a Chud movie and take the Chud thing out of it and just make it
just
Bud the Zombie.
Bud the Zombie.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well for the song.
No.
Yeah, be Bud the Stud.
Bud the Stud.
Yeah,
He is
Bud
a stud.
The Stud. Yeah.
Bud the Stud.
So,
yeah, I don't know. I can see that, but this movie is still perfect anyway.
Well, it's like,
It's
like Slumber Party Massacre 2, right?
Perfect.
Like, clearly that doesn't line up with the tone of the first one in the slightest, right?
Or Texas Chainsaw.
Or Texas Chainsaw 2, which, the tone is drastically different. Now, in the case of Slumber Party Massacre 2, at least it follows the storyline of the first one to a degree.
Yes.
But there's plenty of franchises where the second, third, fourth movies have literally nothing to do with the rest of the franchise.
Right.
Witchboard. I mean, I've reviewed tons of them on this channel where it's just in name only sequels.
Right. Not like actually story sequels.
Sometimes they come back. Sometimes they come back for more. Sometimes they come back again. Sometimes they come back for your mom.
Is that one?
Should be. It's the one I was in. But yeah, okay. Let's jump into it. Now, I will say this. Like a lot of things. So, our plan was, we had a nice little plan, which was that we were going to watch like a few monster movies and a few slasher movies, and we were going to record all the reviews, and we were going to get them all done, and then I was going to post them like week after week, and it was going to be nice. We were going to get ahead of ourselves. We were going to get like a month's head start.
Yeah.
Where it was like, I already have 4 weeks posted of both this, and maybe even throw some Stephen King's in there.
Yeah.
And we watched a few monster movies, and we watched a few, and I was like, we're going to record these. We didn't. We watched Bud the Chud weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I have my notes, thank God. Because if I didn't have these, woo, doggy, I don't know what I'd be doing. Because I'd be like, what happened again? I remember mostly. I think I do okay. Yeah. But I'm going to do much better because I got these. Like this opening line right here of my notes, which is that the Chuds in this movie are so fucking hungry that they ate the title card. That's when you know your zombies are hungry.
They're hungry.
When they're just eating words right off the screen.
Can't even wait for the bodies.
Yeah. When the words within the show actually are tangible, real things, like in Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not Jane.
Well, it's not Jane, but it's Jane's alter ego.
Jane's alter ego.
That creates fucking words and then uses them as weapons.
She's super cool.
Which is great. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of shit we watch that we do not discuss on the channel. You guys think we talk about everything we watch on the channel? Not even close. We don't even talk about half the shit we watch on the channel.
No.
We're always watching stuff, so. Anyway, yeah. So, I love how in the opening here, we start in the hospital, which The film feels fairly disconnected at first, where I was like, did they just like have two different movies and try to mesh them together after they were like, we don't know if we're going to be able to sell this one. So what can we attach this to? What do you have the rights to? They're like, we got this, we got Chud. They're like,
Chud. Wait, what was that?
Chud.
Bud?
How about Bud the Chud?
How about
My
Bud
brother's name's Bud. Kind of rhymes with Chud.
It's kind of a Chud.
But yeah, anyway, so they're in this hospital and the doctor is needed somewhere, to which they get over the PA in a hospital, like a place where you're supposed to take shit seriously.
Like, get the fuck over here.
They're like, where the hell are you? They're like yelling it over the PA. It's just I've been to the hospital a few times. That's never occurred.
No.
In the times that I've.
I guess it's not really the hospital either. It's sort of like a center for disease control / military base.
That high school students are able to sneak onto without anyone seeing them, pull their car up, and then take a body out of a contained area with no problems at all.
No problems. Like, it's super easy. But I don't know. My point was maybe because it's not the hospital, they have more leeway with their.
Did you say maybe?
Maybe they have more. Maybe they have more leeway.
maybe.
They have more leeway with their, speaker system.
Yeah. So you're in a government facility. So like in a regular hospital, it's like, now paging Dr. whoever for the third time. Yeah, government one, first time. No warning. Yo, where the fuck are you? We need you here. Get the hell over here. Mm-hmm. Maybe. I like the music in this. Yeah. Obviously, we got the theme song, which is the iconic of it. But the opening music and all that is really good. Yeah. The stuff that brings Chud back is... So, this was written as a Return of the Living Dead film. It was released as a Chud film. And it features the component of the Reanimator films to bring them back from the dead. They straight up have neon green fluid that they inject into Bud to bring him back from the dead. Yeah. So you've got Chud, Reanimator, Night of the Living Dead, Weekend at Bernie's. Like, you got everything going on in here.
It's great.
Yeah, what more do you want?
Yeah, it's perfect.
You got it all. You got a theme song. You got fucking, like, dancing, singing freaking zombies.
Yes.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love it.
It's so good.
And you got a fucking rad Blu-ray for it now with an audio commentary. Mm-hmm. And then Garrett Graham, who plays Bud the Chud, does an interview in here, which we know from Phantom of the Paradise and Child's Play 2, and he's great. I love him here but his iconic role for me will always be Bud the Chud.
Bud the Chud.
Yep. I don't care what else he's done in his life.
He's Bud.
Sorry, buddy.
The Chud.
Sorry, Bud.
Sorry, Bud.
Don't try to escape it. They're also trying to reanimate soldiers. So the whole point of this program, because of course in the first film, the Chud, the containment, hazardous, urban disposal
of humanoid underground dwellers.
No, the specific real name of the project was to just dispose of these toxic chemicals. But then I guess in the bringing back of these monsters, which now of course the Chud gas or liquid, whatever the hell it is, it doesn't change people into these monsters with flashlight eyes now.
No.
They just make people.
They're just, they just come back
who can talk and think.
They have like still some of their own personalities.
100%, yeah.
They have, their own like agency. They're hungry. They're really hungry. They want meat.
They do, but they also like want people to be part of their little tribe.
But they also want like companionship. But then I guess they are supposed to be fighters.
Well, yeah, I mean, Bud.
Is the plan?
Bud in here,
he's like a soldier, right? That's it.
Bud's whole driving force in this movie is his romantic interest in the girl he's coming after, but then there's a girl after him the whole time. So there's kind of a zombie love triangle going on in here. Would have been interesting if the girl that Bud was going after actually had a thing for the girl that was going after Bud.
And then they were just
then it'd be a straight up triangle. Yeah, just like like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland, where they're just circling, they're just chasing each other in a circle endlessly forever.
Never been on that
ride. Such a late reaction. And you're just like. But yeah, anyway, so they're trying to reanimate soldiers. That's the whole program that they have set up, which is exactly what it is in Return of the Living Dead Part 3, which is, I think, at the time in which this would have been written and came out, this would have been the third one. I don't know where this falls on the timeline of the Return of the Living Dead franchise, whether it would have been Part 2 or Part 3. But if it was Part 3, it's funny to me that they do use a very specific thing like this, like the Chud fluid, to bring back these creatures as soldiers that can never die. Mm-hmm. So the plot concept is similar. Yeah. And then that movie also is driven purely by a romance.
Interesting.
Right? Except for it's not the guy, you haven't seen it yet, but it's not the girl, it's not the dead body, the zombie going after the person, it's the person going after the zombie. So it's kind of a flip on it, but I don't know. Maybe they use the same fucking script and just split it. Yeah, chudified it. Yeah. That's right. It also has a very similar storyline to Universal Soldier with Dolph Lundgren and Jean-Claude Van Damme. And we also got a soldier in here who's working in the hospital, who's supposed to be overseeing the Chuds and keeping a guard on them. And he's pissed off because he wishes he was on the front lines, and he's looking at a war magazine that dons like a front cover of like a ship being bombed, and he is straight up looking at this thing like a centerfold in Playboy, like he's jerking off to pornography. Yeah, he's like, why am I not here? Why am I not killing people? Why am I not almost dying all day, every day?
He's so excited for it.
Yeah.
It's really funny, and then he's like still looking at it like an hour later.
Oh yeah, every time we cut back to this guy, he's just like, oh. And it's the same picture. That's the best part. Is he looking at the exact same picture the next time we see him? Yes. It's like he's found his fucking, celebrity crush, and it's like that's the only one he wants to look at. Yeah. He's just like, oh man, look at the fire. Look at the bodies. Look at the death. The blood. Why am I not there? Then they could chud me and put me right back into it.
Maybe that's.
I could just die over and over.
Yeah. That'd be
until
good
my body is no more
capable
of being brought back, because I don't have any arms, I don't have any legs, I don't have a head.
I don't have any organs.
Nothing. Skin. They have a cat jump scare in this inside a hospital. They open up a door within the hospital and a cat jumps out.
Yeah.
Why the fuck is there a cat in a government facility? They're letting teens in to come steal bodies, the body of bodies that they shouldn't steal. Where's the war guy?
Yeah,
He was on the internet jerking off to like fucking ISIS videos.
Oh my god.
It's like, guy, that could be me. I could be being decapitated right now for my country. Could be him. You never know.
You never know. He's not guarding the body. That's for sure.
I was gonna make like a giving head joke, like that. Never mind. That's no. Moving on. And okay. I did go to school in the 80s, but I did not go to high school in the 80s, so I don't know if in the science lab, in the storage area of the science lab, which they seem to let kids just hang out in by themselves, if they have like multiple dead dogs and cats wrapped up in plastic in there just waiting to be dissected by the class. I would expect that in a veterinarian school.
Not in a normal
but in a high school, dogs? Like they brought in like German shepherds and threw them up on the table in a high school?
I don't know.
No fucking way that's real.
I mean, we did frogs. Frogs have like...
Yeah, everybody did.
Which sucks still really bad. So I don't know if cats or dogs were...
Or like the little pygmies. The little pig.
I had blocked that out of my head.
Mm-hmm. So like, but like full on like, hey kids, if your household pet dies, bring it into school for show and tell. You can show us their heart, their liver, their kidneys.
Yeah, about their organs.
The yo-yo they swallowed last week.
That's what killed
them. There it is.
His so sad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was a thing in the 80s. Did you dissect cats and dogs and humans in high school?
You're expecting my people to be older than 40? Nobody listens to me. No, I don't think anybody's watching. They shut this off already. They're like, Bud the Chud now. No. I'm clicking on it thinking that it's a joke, but then he's actually talking about it. No.
Bud the Chud.
Bud the Chud. All right, so then... Okay, so there's a lot of breakdowns of logic in this movie, to say the least. I don't know what's the worst, but I would say this is definitely up there. Might be the worst. So, the kids are working on, like, the one kid is working on his school project. There's a human in there.
Human, yeah, that they're gonna dissect.
So, let's just ignore dogs altogether. They're definitely not dissecting human beings at high school. That is definitely not happening.
That's so intense.
Okay? That is 100%. Like, hey, Granny's dead. You want to just roll her into class and let's get this shit going?
No.
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 They're not doing people. No. But in this school, they are doing people. This is high school. Why didn't they make them medical students? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But the kid's working on a human body that's in the high school storage area. Mm-hmm. Was he in a freezer? Was he in a cold area? Like, he was just out. So.
They were just out. They were just, like, in a little storage area.
There wasn't, because the dogs were just, like, wrapped up and put up on shelves.
Yeah.
Wasn't even cold in there.
No.
None of this makes any sense.
No.
Anyways, so the body's up on the stretcher, and he's, like, working on him, and then the guy comes in, the goofball, the class clown. He comes in, and he, like, knocks the freaking body, and it starts rolling down the street. And so they chase after this body for a little while, and then they just say, like, well, it's gotten too far away from us because it starts to roll down the hill, and they're kind of like, well, I guess that body's gone.
Yeah. So
we better break into a hospital and steal a whole new body that no one's going to notice is missing, and nobody's going to notice is a totally different human being. And I don't know, maybe what's going to happen to that body when it hits the bottom of whenever the hill stops?
Yeah.
Like, that body went down the street. They have a car.
Yes.
They didn't think to just go and get the body?
No.
That rolled down the street?
It's too much work. Let's go get another one.
But then, so completely ignoring all that logic makes no sense at all. Why they wouldn't just go get that body? They just think like, well, I guess he's just gone. He's just going to take off down the road, hang a left here, and head on to Milwaukee. I don't know what they thought was happening there, but he would eventually stop. For some reason, the smart kid, because one of them is supposed to be like the brainiac, right? But he doesn't think to go get the body once it stops at the bottom of the hill. And what's going to happen when the cops find it?
And they're like,
or like everybody's like calling in like, hey, there's a body down here. It's from the school. They don't think like anyone's going to report that the body that they donated to the school is going to be reported as being found at the bottom of the hill. They just think they're going to bring in a new body and then the other body's just going to disintegrate? Like, I don't know what their logic is, but it makes no sense at all. But at the very end of the movie, the body finally comes to a stop as it runs into the back of the family's car, to which, like, the sister, is it a sister or brother? Sister, right?
Sister, yeah.
She looks back and is like, oh boy, like...
The body shows up. It's been
rolling
for like 2 days.
Yeah, because they spend the night.
Yeah.
2
It's
days.
just been rolling.
2 days. A day and a half, it's been rolling.
And everybody's driving by it and it's just like...
This is that town that our grandparents grew up in. Where they had to walk uphill both ways.
Both ways, yeah. So it was going
this town has downhill both ways. Yeah, you just... Whoop, it's like a half pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just enough to where he gets like, it's enough to where he gets up high and no one ever stops him.
Yeah.
And it never hits anything, it never veers off track, it's just straight. But couldn't they just waited and it just came back?
No, they needed a new body.
I don't think this works. I don't think it works. But like, do you think, because obviously the movie's not taking itself seriously, it's kind of a parody joke thing. Like we're obviously kidding, and we're always breaking down the logic of these things in movies that aren't supposed to have logic. But do you think when people write these movies that they like laughingly say like, oh, we're just going to do this, and then the other person's in the room like, like, obviously this doesn't make any sense, but that's what's funny? Or do you think they're just like, that fucking body's gone. We gotta replace it.
I think it's sometimes one or the other. It depends. Because, like, if I was writing it, I would be like, this makes no sense. That's why it's funny. Let's do it. Like, who cares? But then also I know other people are like, I'm going to do a line of cocaine right now and then write a whole script in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I like the result either way.
I do too. Apparently, I really like what cocaine produces movie-wise.
Yeah, that's how I'm alive. My parents are just...
Oh my god, so many, so much.
Just... just... That was cocaine out of vagina that I stuck a knife into. But it's already open.
Oh no.
Yeah. Bigger hole. Anyway. So
we should just get to the good scene.
Then so the two dudes come home. They're friends. They're not brothers. So one of them lives there. I can't remember. I wrote their names down somewhere.
Dad
I don't really care.
and his mom.
But yeah, so they come into the house. And the dad's like, they're watching like some nature documentary on penguins.
It's on Alaska.
And he's like, you know what that is? To the son who's like supposed to be
not
smart.
The son, to the friend that's supposed to be like a genius.
Yeah, sorry. Not his son, his friend.
You know what that is.
Yeah, and the guy's like, snow? And he's
damn
like,
right
yeah,
it is.
damn right it is. That's right. Damn right it is. Like, does he think someone is he teaching him?
Those are penguins.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hilarious though. Those are salmon. That's salmon. There's so many things that the dad says.
Yeah.
During that documentary that are just.
So
he's like
all the most obvious things.
Yeah, but he's like genuinely like impressed and amazed by it, and his wife is too, and the smart son is just like. Hates his life.
Well, I mean, if you want to know why his friend is the class clown moron, look no further than the couch.
And so the son, the class clown, is trying to bring Bud up to the bathroom to hide him, and the
little doggy
comes over and is like barking.
Yeah, I think that guy needs to join the football team.
Oh my god,
he's got quite the punt.
He kicks the dog so far off the stairs, and it's so sad, but it's so
launches
funny.
him.
So bad. Oh my god, and then also his sister comes out and he's like, you're dreaming, and she's like, starts questioning her whole reality.
She does. Throughout the movie, she's like, am I still awake or am I asleep still? It like fucks her whole reality up. Yeah. He kicks dogs. He fucking makes little girls not real, like, you know. They can't figure out.
Disassociate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. I need that fucking dad to come into my life to be like, that's snow. I'm like, oh, penguins. Yeah. I can be pretty dumb sometimes, but I think we all can. But yeah, so I like how their parents own a van, and they go and bring the smallest car ever known to man to bring a body back to their house with 3 other occupants. I guess a girl. I don't know if the girl was there and they borrowed her car and then she was waiting for them to bring it back, or if she brought it, but she's like, what is that? So I guess she was just waiting at their house for them to bring it back, and this was before cell phones or anything, so she was just waiting out there. Like, we'll be back around this time, and they brought her car back to her. Like, I don't know how any of that works, but like when you're pulling a body out of the back of a car,
you're not just like,
she's
what
gonna
is
have
that?
more questions than like, what's that?
Who is
okay,
that?
well, I gotta go. Mm-hmm. It's a human body that they're carrying, and I love in movies they always stand bodies up.
Yeah.
Like cadavers just stand. If you just put them in a corner and just like
just lean them against the wall, and they'll stand up straight. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Bud comes back to life because of electricity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's Frankenstein's monster.
Goes back to life. He's really confused.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, bro.
Well,
We're
yeah.
gonna get an A on our science
Well,
project.
no, it's not even that. It's that. So what happens when Bud is brought back within a bubble bath that the mom drew for herself who knows how long ago, because when they walk in the house, she's just sitting in front of the television with her husband laughing for a good long while, and then the friend goes up into the bathroom, and he sees that there is a bathtub filled with a bubble bath that the mom's gonna get to eventually.
She wants to do it before dinner.
She does it before dinner, and let's also keep in mind that the daughter is already in bed.
Yeah.
And the son has convinced her that she's asleep because that's her bedtime before dinner. But then they call her down for dinner, but she's in her room asleep. What the fuck is happening here? She draws a bath for herself while watching TV, leaves it up there for God knows how long because eventually she's going to go, but she's making dinner at the same time.
Yeah.
So they're going to wake up their daughter to eat dinner.
Yeah.
Then after dinner, they're going to put their daughter back to bed so that she can get into her bubble bath that she drew hours ago.
But she wants to do before dinner, though.
She says she wants to do it before dinner?
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, she's like, I wanted to take that before dinner.
Right, she does say that, but she doesn't.
She doesn't.
Because it gets fucked up?
Yeah. Well, they walk in there and the toilet is like overflowing.
Yeah.
She's like freaking out about it.
That's right. But she drew.
That's when he gets put downstairs in the basement and locked down there.
But who has a bath drawn with bubbles in it and is just sitting in front of the TV when the sons get home, when the son gets home and they're just hanging out, and she already has dinner made. Like because she calls out like right after that.
They just like everything
dinner's ready.
Cold. And like they're just like we want it.
Like they heat everything up and then let it get cold. That's what that's what he's all excited about. It's like, you know what that is? That's snow. It's my favorite. It's my favorite dessert.
My favorite.
It's my favorite dinner.
It's my favorite food.
Yeah. It's my favorite hot drink. It's just a cup full of snow. What are we talking about? Okay.
We gotta get to the
getting way off track here.
There's more.
Yeah, of course there's more. There's all more. There's so much more. But anyways, back to the point of all of that was that Bud is brought back through this bath and electricity, and to which the class clown kid responds to that we're going to be rich and famous because I think I've cured death, and we just have to figure out what combination of bubble mixture to electricity will bring back people from the dead. That is literally what happens in this movie.
Yeah, that's what he thinks.
He's like, oh, it's a cocktail of bubble bath and electricity. I've cured death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he thinks like, all he wants for that, by the way. I'm sorry, he doesn't say rich and famous. I'm filling that blank in with my own head. That is not what he says. He says that they've cured death and they're totally getting an A on their biology.
I said. Yeah, they're going to pass their science class.
You said that,
That's
sorry.
what they're excited about. It's so stupid.
I cured death. I want an A in biology.
I mean, they robbed a government facility for a body.
Yeah. I mean, how about, I don't know, a Nobel Prize?
No, just an A in
millions of dollars, my name on a building, and a statue commemorating me.
Statue
if you cured death,
house
if you could bring people back from the dead, do you have any idea how famous and rich you would be?
I want the first sacrifice to be every month.
No, I just want an A in biology. Just for this quarter, too.
Not forever.
No.
Not every biology class.
No, not for the year, even.
Just the quarter?
Just that quarter.
Just this one project.
Yeah. Just one report card. Yeah.
Progress report.
Yeah. I want an A. I cured death. And he's like, B minus. You didn't cure death fast enough.
Wow.
Hard teacher.
Yeah.
He keeps bodies and dogs in the fucking storage closet. It's a very off person.
Guy.
Yeah, so this movie kind of reminds me of Encino Man as well, but you've probably never seen. And let's see. Cop is in background drinking for 30 seconds. Remember this note? I remember something about this. There's like a...
I don't remember what context, but I
Oh, God, I remember this. What was it?
There was a guy that was drinking for a really long time.
Yeah.
Was 30 seconds a long time to drink?
Oh, I think that is what it is. They're like in a room, and like every time they cut back, the guy's still drinking in the bathroom.
Oh yeah,
That's what it
probably
is.
Was.
There's like
There's
a cop
lot
behind
of
somebody
stuff.
who has. They're having dialogue, and there's somebody behind them, and they're just drinking, and they cut back and forth between their conversations, and they just keep. They're just like this the whole time. And I'm like, bro,
He's just really
lay
going for it.
off of that drink. That's right. The girlfriend that Bud is into has a police scanner in her car.
Yep.
Which is an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Bud gets himself hit on by the neighbor lady who's dancing to aerobics.
She's
So
super into him.
this girl's pretty desperate that when she comes out into her backyard, there's a man on her property, and she sees his feet first, doesn't even look up to his face, just slowly makes her way up his body like, oh,
She's like,
I need this so bad, a man in my life.
Yeah. And then she gets to his face.
And then he turns her into a zombie, and she still wants him.
She still does. She really likes him.
I guess you die with like the same intentions you
do.
had before, right?
Except, yeah, I mean, I guess Bud discovers that he wants love, but maybe he always wanted that.
But not only are humans susceptible to becoming chuds in this, but poodles and animals as well. So we have a rabid poodle
God, it's like my favorite
stalking the
scene.
town. And Kaylee's favorite scene involves what?
It involves the mailman. And the way that this dog is thrown at his face is like
Projected.
toy. And then he holds it and is like bringing it
Yeah.
closer in a way to look like he's fighting it.
Sure, because it clearly has leverage
It's
being in
so
the air.
fucking funny. And then he drags him away.
Yeah.
Because he's so strong. And then we hear on the radio later that there's a rabid
Poodle stalking town.
Poodle stalking the suburb.
Yeah.
So good. It was so funny.
Reminds me of like Blood Diner.
Yes.
With a meat cleaver in one hand and his genitals in the other. I love
So goofy.
ridiculous reports on the news. But yeah, you can clearly see the wire pulling him
it's
with the
so
dog like
obvious.
holding onto his arm. It's really fun. It's really fun.
I love it.
But that's the charm, right?
Yes. It
And I do want to point out for no one at all, because nobody's going to give a shit, that the mailman is Luke from Married with Children. Yeah. That was in the first season with Al's little buddy that always is getting laid around him. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, isn't that the dude from Married with Children? And I had to look it up, and it sure as hell was. That was his big break.
But
He's
Chud
the
man.
rabid poodle mailman dragger. That should have been on his name in the credits.
Rabid poodle mailman dragged victim.
Yeah, dragged
Rabid
victim.
poodle dragged mailman victim.
Dragged.
Dragged victim.
Yeah, dragged has to go first.
Dragged,
You're right. Dragged mailman. No, dragged poodle.
Dragged mailman, rabid poodle victim.
By rabid poodle. I don't know. You're right. Comma. I've never seen comma in the fucking credits. All right. Let's see. We've got. Daughter questions whole reality now. It's the best. Bud goes to get a haircut, which he changes the barber and comes out and he's like, cool haircut.
Nice hair.
Nice haircut. Cool haircut, something like that.
So
So good.
I love everything.
Then they go over to, Bud makes his way over to a fountain, which is like this big. And he pulls a fish out of it this big.
It's insane. It's
Could you imagine that fish being in that little fountain? Just certain.
That's why it pulls him out.
He's like From. It's like that show From. He's just stuck in one little area. Or under the dome. He's just like,
that's why Bud pulls
why'd
him
they
out.
put me in this little fountain?
Why'd they put me in
So
here?
small.
This is inhumane.
He just grabs it and it's just like, caught me a marlin! And he pulls it out of like a freaking glass of water. He's just like, it's like one of the bags in Harry Potter. He's just able to fucking, it's got access to the ocean. And man, haircuts, $2.50.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus, I'd be broke and overworked, to say the least.
Crazy.
I just wrote down zombies for some reason. I'm assuming they said the word zombies
They
in the show.
changed so fast. Yeah, I think they said zombies. That's the other thing too. Everybody that he turns, it's like 2 seconds and they're a zombie already.
I do love how in this movie that people have totally normal teeth, then they get bit, and then all of a sudden all of their teeth are sharp.
All of them are super sharp.
I don't know what happens.
I don't know either. I like it though.
They just immediately like what happens?
I don't know, but I like it.
Does he like sharpen their teeth?
No, he doesn't have time to do that.
He doesn't have time.
Do
all their teeth fall out and then just little spikes come down?
Yeah, I guess. Or like the little edges of their teeth fall off. They look like bigger teeth though than what everybody else has.
Yeah.
So maybe you're right. Maybe the old ones fall out and new ones come down.
Yeah. I don't know. No. They change like this though.
So fast.
So he goes in and he like attacks somebody and then 2 seconds later they're up and they have sharp teeth.
Yes, they're up and they have sharp teeth and they want meat.
Like instantly.
Yeah.
The like burger joint that they walk into and they just like kill everybody in there. Good stuff.
So good.
And they blow up a building and then most of the Chuds survive, so that didn't really work very well.
Just like,
and
singed.
I like how a guy uses a double barrel shotgun, fires it twice, and then he cocks it to fire it again. It's not how those work. That's not how double barrel shotguns work. No.
It doesn't work.
You gotta open them back up, take the shells out, put 2 new ones in, close it up.
And then do that.
You don't just fire a double barrel shotgun, cock it, and then it has more. That's not how this works. But you hear the cock. He's like, and it's like, no, that's not how that gun works. Good try though. And so dumb. But that'd be cool. A double barrel shotgun you can cock.
Infinitely.
And like it has like multiple shells into it. I've never seen that before. But yeah, that's not how that works. But you can get the 4-barrel shotgun from Phantasm, which you're gonna find out about soon enough. There's a 4-barrel shotgun. That's right. And I love how the military comes to stop the Chuds, and they're all in this barn in front of them, which they come to freeze them.
Yeah.
But then all the Chuds that are in there, they just let go. They like let them run out the back of the barn, and the guy just stands there and just watches them leave.
Yeah,
And it's like, didn't you come to like stop them? Like, don't you?
They
like,
don't.
Seize them, get them, anything. No.
Yeah. And then when they freeze the farmer zombie.
Yeah.
He starts to increase his body temperature.
Yeah, they immediately adapt.
Which would be scary.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They need to put him in the mom's bath to rewarm it up. Oh,
yeah. Good idea. Bud could have done that for her.
Could have. If he had already been frozen first and adapted. He doesn't have that power yet.
Power.
And the army guy in this is Mickey, who from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who ends up being a drag queen at the end of this. Like, he's dressed in drag at the end. Like, remember, he picks him up in the truck?
Yeah.
For some reason, he's really like a chud at the end, and he's also a woman.
Yeah, I don't know. I was very
happening?
Confused because I thought that was a totally different person. You're like, no, that's the army guy. I was like, that's a woman. That's a different person.
And you're
like, it's him,
like
but in
99.9% it's him.
I'm so confused I don't have any explanation for why.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm telling you, it's him.
It's wild. I just don't know. I just don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It looks a lot like him. Maybe it's his sister. We get Robert Englund in here for about 2 seconds as some creepy looking dad who's taking his kids trick-or-treating. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Robert Englund is able to do anything but look creepy. We get the guy who plays Stanley Roper in Three's Company in this show as well. A lot of familiar faces. And I like how Bud breaks through a window, then he gets hit by a chair, then they go back, and then someone goes over and just stands by the window.
Oh my god. There's so many things like that.
Like right by the window where someone just broke through, and then they get attacked. And you're like, maybe don't go by the place you know the zombies were because he just got hit by a chair. Yeah, that's not going to stop him.
No.
He's going to be back in now. He's
Right,
already
right,
back.
He's back. You're dead. You're Chud.
Before I could even finish the sentence, he's already there. Because you hit him with a chair and then he goes, and then he's back. It just doesn't really do anything. So why would you go stand by the fucking window where zombies are? It makes no sense. I love it.
It's so funny.
See, in a movie like this, it works. In a serious movie, I'd be like,
you'd be like, fuck.
Let's go.
No,
and
it's
then
because this movie is like a parody, like you said, and it's not taking itself that seriously. It's supposed to be fun and illogical, and that's definitely part of what makes it so entertaining.
Yeah, so another thing within this is that, so the Chuds are like, they're out together in a group, and they're like, well, where do we go? And they see that there's a dance party, which somehow they know where it is. And so they head there on foot. They're heading to the dance party, but then somehow go to the CDC first. Mm-hmm. Then they take off in a car. They leave from the fucking CDC in a car to go straight to the dance. The Chuds are at the CDC and then go off on foot and are somehow at the school before they get there in the car.
Yeah, the people at the CDC leave from the CDC in the car. The Chuds are on foot the whole time.
Oh, right. So
the kids leave.
Right, that's right.
They're
the CDC
in
leaves
a car.
To go from there to the dance.
Yes.
The Chuds are there,
and
then they leave.
Show up to the dance before the people in the car do.
Correct.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense why they would be that fast.
There's a shortcut through the woods that the Chuds somehow know about because they know where the dance is.
All right.
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Why not?
Sure.
And let's see.
That's when we get their dance.
Then we get the dancing zombies,
which is great.
which is wonderful. And if you don't like it, yeah.
Fuck off and die.
For sure. And they want to use the freeze gun, but don't know how it works. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's not what I meant. They want to use the freeze gun knowing that it doesn't work.
Right, knowing that it doesn't.
Like, they already used it, and then they're like, but he's heating himself up, it doesn't work. And then they're like, get the freeze gun again.
And you're like, but it doesn't work. You know it won't work.
No. But that kid figures out that if you freeze them, and then earlier in the movie, they set it up to where if you create an electrical current, mm-hmm. that it'll blow them all up. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, the gun won't work, but who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's fine.
And then the zombies, all of them, not just Bud, but how did they defeat them? They lure them with sex appeal. That's it. Just one girl.
One girl.
Maybe it's a hive mind. Maybe
that's
because what Chud wants,
like, yeah,
Bud the Chud wants.
I guess.
They're like, ooh, girl.
That could be because like if it's just meat, like there's tons of other people out there for them to eat.
Everyone.
Like literally everyone at the dance they could be eating.
Yeah.
But they leave to follow Bud, who's following her.
This girl's just so attractive that no matter what you're into,
you're gonna go.
You have to have her and her alone.
Yeah.
Sure.
I guess.
And then when they walk through the door, they just push them into the pool, and they just keep walking into the pool.
They keep
one
going
after
into
the other,
pool.
after the other. There's about 40 of them.
And then they freeze the pool.
And then they can't seem to get out of the pool, even though they seem to be totally able-bodied otherwise.
Yeah,
they're like getting out of a pool is just too much for them to handle.
They can't handle.
Like Bud can go down the street and get a haircut and pull a fucking fish out of a fountain like fucking Mr. Miyagi, but he can't get out of the pool.
Too, actually, at one point in the movie. So he can do all that, but they can't get out of the pool.
Mm-mm. And they can't stop themselves from falling into a pool as they see everyone in front of them is falling in.
It's hard being a Chud.
It is.
Yeah.
Poor Chuds. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, the frozen pool with all the people inside looks awesome.
Looks really
cool. It was
cool.
a great effect.
Yes.
So good that. Now, I find myself to be pretty romantic with you. I've definitely done some grand gestures, and I've had some good moments in my life.
Have you ripped your heart out for me, though?
I haven't. I feel like a shitty fiance.
Bud the Chud would.
Because I haven't reached into my chest and literally...
Please.
Yeah, he says please.
He broke my heart.
She should have been like...
Is that
And then
yes?
she would have turned into Jason Voorhees. Because she eat the heart.
Yeah, but is that a yes if she does it? Or is that
I don't know what the yes is supposed to be. Is
like
just she says yes, or does she have to take it like one of those cards, like, do you like me? Y or N? You have to...
Y or N? Yeah, like, no, like the act
Or you
of
take
eating
it and
it.
you write it, yes.
Like if she accepts it, that's yes, I accept you. And then taking a bite out of it is like, no, I don't. I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, maybe. And yeah, the body finally stops 10 hours later. I grossly underestimated that. It was like 36 hours later.
So long.
And so Steve is the goofball.
Yeah.
Because the smart kid is into the girl.
Yeah.
And then Steve is dating her, but then he just leaves his girlfriend to the kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like you guys are a better couple.
yeah, I'm just gonna leave, and they're kind of like, okay.
They're like, that's fine. You just,
He just took off, but he's a chud.
But he's a chud. He got bit at the pool, which we saw.
Yep,
And
then
he's with the
he goes with
general,
the colonel,
military guy,
whoever the hell he is.
Yeah.
And that guy's hiding in the back of a truck for some reason.
With the poodle.
He's a colonel. There it is. Yeah, colonel in the back, undercover. Somehow he just happens to run into him.
Yeah.
That's coincidental. And they just jump into the back, and there is potentially a drag queen in the front, and the poodle's in the back with them. So, yeah.
They all survived.
They got a little motley crew
Yep.
there, and then we get the eat 'em up, yum, which is more of our smoke 'em. So, yeah, that's Bud the Chud.
It's so good. It's so funny.
It's so
and
stupid.
silly and stupid and
Yeah.
just great. It's great.
Yeah. I definitely wish we would have talked about this right after we watched it.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
I was I was having some memory lapses there for sure. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
And you said then you had a better memory on it than I did, which is good because you corrected me a few times. Very thankful for that. And I mean, I had a couple bubble bath and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But you're smarter than me. It's okay.
No. I'm not.
Anyways, so Bud the Chud, who's a fan? Come on, guys. Have a heart.
Please.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.